Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are unpacking two massive stories currently colliding in pop culture: BTS's absolute chart dominance and that internet-breaking Met Gala mystery. Let's just jump right in. Are the kings of pop actually making a secret Met Gala debut? This question is completely taking over TikTok, X, and pretty much every pop culture outlet right now in May of 2026. There's this viral rumor going around that members Jungkook and V are about to crash fashion's biggest night. So to figure out exactly how we got to this fever pitch of speculation, we're going to use a data-to-drama approach. But before we get into all the drama, we've got to look at the undeniable musical foundation they're standing on right now. We need the data. Okay, let's dive into this. The number 7. It represents something totally monumental right now: the incredible 7-week longevity of their latest album, Arirang, on the global charts. In the modern music landscape of 2026, where albums kind of just come and go in a blink, having a project sit comfortably at the top weeks after its release is nothing short of a phenomenon. It's really not just a brief spike driven by release week hype. This is sustained global dominance, proving their music is quite literally holding the world's attention captive. But wait, the depth of this success actually goes even further. According to reports from Outlook Respawn and other major outlets, all 13 vocal tracks from the Arirang album are still charting globally. Just think about that for a second. It is incredibly rare for an entire tracklist to maintain this kind of traction simultaneously. Usually a lead single carries an album, right? But here, the data shows that fans and the general public alike are consuming the entire body of work from top to bottom, weeks into the release. And you can see this broad staying power really clearly with the tracklist. The lead single Swim, which debuted at number 1, by the way, is holding incredibly strong at number 22. But notice the B-side track Body to Body. It's currently sitting at number 95. For an unpromoted B-side to remain a Hot 100 staple this far into the album cycle, that is a massive indicator of the project's incredibly broad staying power. So, summarizing these hard receipts from Billboard and the Korea Herald, Arirang is an absolute juggernaut at number 4 on the Billboard 200, and Swim has stayed in the top 3 of the Global 200 for 5 consecutive weeks. They are simply an unstoppable force in 2026. The music data is totally indisputable. So, with the entire world already watching them, what happens when you introduce a massive cultural mystery into the mix? Well, that brings us to the 2026 Met Gala. The stakes for fashion's biggest night are incredibly high. The theme this year is costume art, with the official dress code being Fashion is Art. So this isn't just about showing up in a nice tailored suit. It's about high-concept, avant-garde visual storytelling. This is the exact aesthetic arena where global superstars cement their legacies not just as musicians, but as cultural icons. And it's exactly why the rumors of BTS attending are generating such intense electricity. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how US Weekly described the current situation. They called it, quote, almost too perfect. Fans aren't just manifesting this out of thin air. They're heavily scrutinizing the group's official US tour schedule, looking for a logistical smoking gun that's transforming casual listeners into full-on internet detectives. Let's play detective for a minute. The group has a massive stadium show in El Paso on May 3rd. But then they don't perform again until May 7th in Mexico City. That leaves a glaring, wide-open gap on Monday, May 4th. And what happens on the first Monday in May? The Met Gala in New York City. This perfectly placed gap is literally the exact piece of evidence fueling the viral speculation across all social media platforms right now. Of course, we've got to weigh the evidence objectively here. On the clue side, we have that perfect schedule gap. Plus, we know Blackpink's Lisa is officially on the host committee this year, bringing K-pop royalty right into the building, and the BTS members are major brand ambassadors. But for a reality check, as outlets like Zoom TV and Harpers Bazaar remind us, the Met Gala guest list is famously top secret until the stars actually step onto the carpet. Furthermore, a lot of those leaked invitations floating around have already been completely debunked as clever fan edits, so we do have to stay somewhat grounded. But beyond just the schedule, their attendance perfectly aligns with high fashion brand logic. They're the global faces of luxury powerhouses like Louis Vuitton and Celine. Imagine V stepping onto those famous steps in a custom Celine piece that looks like a literal painting. It completely captures that fashion is art synergy. From an industry perspective, having Jungkook or V there makes undeniable sense. And if they do show up, it would mark a historic first ever group or subunit appearance for them at the Met. Bringing this whole thing full circle, whether they make a surprise appearance on those iconic museum steps, or whether they simply use that schedule gap to catch their breath before their massive show in Mexico City, BTS remains the undeniable global force of 2026.
Their record-breaking music, their chart longevity, and their absolute grip on the cultural conversation are completely undisputed facts. They definitely don't need the Met Gala to prove their dominance, but the Met Gala would certainly benefit from having them there.
Which leaves us with this final thought. Are we truly about to witness a historic, surprise Met Gala debut, or is the internet just collectively manifesting a moment of pure hope? Imagine the sheer cultural impact and, honestly, the volume of the screams if the live streams suddenly panned to them walking up those stairs. It's a fascinating collision of data, logistics, and high fashion. So keep your eyes on that red carpet because in the world of BTS, absolutely anything is possible. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Stay curious, and I'll catch you next time.